Hi folks, Doug here. Ellis Car Customs, where we do sweat the small stuff. Uh, Thanks for coming back, my returning friends. Thanks for clicking on me by accident, if you did. Um, Hopefully you'll stick around and see what's going on here. So, last episode, I like to catch people up, just in case you missed the last one. The last episode, we got the floor into paint, and what we're looking at now, unfortunately, is a big chunk of wires. Big chunk of wires. Brand new. Fuse box and all. Comes with everything. I know it may be easier to buy the factory harness. It was so much more money. But this one, like in the case of this car here, it's going to have a modern alternator, not the generator. So that takes different wiring, different plugs. So there's going to be some modern upgrades. And the nice thing about these wires is that they're set up for that. And they're all specifically labeled what they go to. They're separated into groups, so hopefully it won't drive me too crazy. But getting that situated, it gets us another step closer to being able to fire this thing up and move it under its own power. So I'm going to start fiddling with those and see if it doesn't drive me to drink. Thanks for coming to the shop, and I hope you stick around for all the wiring madness. I don't know if you'll be able to see this on camera. You can see how this is door lock power, trunk light. Those are obviously things we're not going to use. Left high beam, alternator exciter, left low beam. They're all labeled, and you can, like, there's fuel gauge, right high beam, dome lights. So it's easy to figure out what you're not going to use. And like I say, according to the little book that came with it here in the box, if I can grab it, yeah, gave you a little book. And according to that, they're separated into groups: front, back, dash, all that kind of stuff. So we'll find out how true that is. They give you miscellaneous plugs and ties and terminals and connectors. So plus, like I said, it's a modern style fuse box. I don't know if you go back a few episodes, quite a few actually, when I tore out what this had for a fuse box in it. It had like aluminum foil stuffed in it, and it was a fire waiting to happen. So we'll have to figure out, this will be mounted on the driver's side floor somewhere, and we'll figure out where exactly, and we'll separate out all the wires we're not going to use from the wires we are going to use. And it might not be such a daunting task once you remove or take out all the wires that we're not going to need. So we'll see how that works out. So I've tried to split these off into manageable groups where I can kind of tell at a glance what's going on. You know, fan, radio, light. These here, like I labeled, I don't need them. They're for power door locks and cruise control, which I'm not going to have. So those are wires I don't need. This is the oil temp sender and a fan if you're doing an electric fan, which I'm not. So that's another redundant wire. This is left tail fuel gauge backup, left front turn signal, brake switch, left side lights, ignition. This one here's the horn switch. I got these grouped off into electric fuel pump, dome light, trunk light. Obviously it's not going to have a trunk light because it doesn't have a trunk anymore. Right and left, rear turn, third brake light. It's not going to have a third brake light. That's another redundant wire. Left tail, left backup, fuel gauge. This one here is the coil alternator, solenoid, horn. Left high and low beam, left turn, ignition switch start, tack, oil sender, left front light. So, yeah, I tried to group them into bits that are a little bit more manageable so I can kind of head them in the directions they need to head and go from there. The next step is finding the best spot and the best way to mount that fuse panel here. I mean, normally they have like a kick panel here, but because I'm using sort of an aftermarket fuse panel as a kind of a big fuel panel, I'll tuck it up as far as I can, and then I'll probably have to modify the kick panel that goes in there. But I think that'll be alright. Like I said, if I tuck it up far enough where I can still get at the fuses, but not so that it's like sticking out where I'm going to hit my foot on it, or you know, the emergency brake lever be in the way or something like that. We'll see how we can mount that where it'll work best for us. So we're getting a handle on where every one of these things goes. between what goes under the dash. Those all feed the back for various reasons. And under the hood, this is all the ones that go for under hood stuff. Like I said, there's a couple of wires here or there that we don't need because we're not doing electric fans or things like that. But this is all, you know, like coils, starter, headlights, parking lights, signals, all that stuff you need under the hood. So here's a reminder of what was in the car. You can see a little bit of aluminum foil stuffed in there in lieu of a fuse. But that was what it had for a fuse box. But we have all these plug-ins if we need them. All the sockets for the dash lights. We won't need external regulator because we're using we're not putting a generator on it, we're putting an alternator on. It's got its own regulator, so that eliminates a lot of this mess. And you can see how dry and brittle they are, as to why I chose to go with new wires. So we're going to take care of another job we need to take care of, is cutting a piece of wood for the back there, which I want to put that in, you know, before the wires are finalized so that they don't interfere with each other. So we'll measure this off, cut it, and test fit it in the car. It doesn't have to be super pretty because it's going to be covered with carpet. So we'll see how this turns out. That's half the battle, sticking it in there to see if it fits. Right now it's sitting on top of the wires, but I'm gonna put the wires on top and under the carpet, so it's like if I have to get at the wires, I don't have to pick up the board or unsecure the board to get at my wires or something. Plus I don't want to pinch them or whatever. So they'll be on top before I fasten that down. And it comes up to where the rear seat goes. And yeah, so that's another quickie job in the can. Well, that's part one of the wiring nomadness episode. I don't want to overwhelm you or me too much. I've got to get some fasteners to fasten that fuse panel to the kick panel there. I don't have any fasteners that'll do that job, so I've got to figure out what I need and pick that up. We got a start on it anyways. We got our wires all grouped and kind of going in the directions they need to go, and we got our wooden floor mocked up in there. I looked up some carpet. Maybe I'll let you do a vote or whatever. But I'm thinking dark blue for the carpet because I was leaning towards black or dark blue. Uh, I wouldn't want to go a lighter blue like this or whatever because it would just show dirt and stains so much more than the dark navy blue they call it. So I'm kind of going with, leaning towards the navy blue. It's about 400 bucks for carpet, but we need it obviously, and once I get the wiring straightened out and get the carpet in, and seat stuff can happen. Uh, and of course, we've got our odds and ends under the hood here. We got exhaust system to do. So we've got winter work. So thanks for stopping. Hopefully you like what you see and you tell your friends, and hit the little subscribe button if you don't mind. I don't generally ask. People who watch me know, you know. If you want to subscribe, you will. Uh, but give me a thumb or something. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. Hope to see you on the next one. Take care. They see me coming. Yeah. So, there's Groucho. This is what it looks like when it's feeding time at the cat corral and I'm a few minutes late with their dinner. They're all milling around. But we do our part to feed the strays. No animal should go hungry.